What are you looking at? Woo! Breathing in that good ass prana in the heart of nature, sitting on a rock, breathing in that life force energy. The breathwork video. I'm so pumped about this one. Let's ask the birds, the local birds, what they reckon. Pretty mad bird action there. That's what it's like here in South Australia around 7:30 at the local water spot. Kings and queens and kings, welcome. I'm Michael and this is Ground Up Movement, and I'm so honored that you're here and so grateful that you are here. And you are loved. You are special. You are here for a reason. And you are sovereign. To any returning crew, what is up? And for anyone watching for the first time, welcome. This is Ground Up Movement, and we don't change the world from the institutions down. It's like yelling at a DVD player to change the channel. We change it from the ground up. We change it from doing the work on ourselves, and that's no walk in the park. Healing of past traumas, the unblocking of the body's chakra energy centers, the reprogramming of the subconscious mind, and breaking free of the society's programmings of lack, limitation, and fear. We are actually the true kings and queens of this reality matrix, and once we start to realize that and do the healing, we are powerful beings indeed. One love. And of course I touched on systems collapsing and censorship, and now we see GameStop being exposed. And that name GameStop's no coincidence. Enter the games, enter the casino, enter the gambling, ending to the ways billionaires have amassed 60% more wealth in the last year. It can't be unseen. The Aquarian energy exposes and seeks truths. Uranus is in Taurus, and Taurus rules finances and institutions and banks. And billionaires study planetary alignments, not millionaires. I'm going to read you something, and then I'm going to tell you how that all came about and hook you up. Well, yo, bring in the horns. Speak your truths. Speak your visions. Speak your intentions. Speak for those who have no power to speak for themselves. Speak for the ancients. Speak for the galactics. Speak for the ancestors. And speak from the heart space, the portal to the soul self. Speak to empower others. Speak to empower yourself. Speak for Mother Gaia, and speak for the Creator. I am youthful. I am strong. I am healthy. I am loving. I am wise. I am wealthy. I am success. My mind is clear. My heart is pure. I am a light of the Creator. So, part of what I just read, I wrote. How'd that come about? Well, it came about from this gentleman here. He does a lot of good work. He's another Lord. He's got awesome courses and this and that going on. Another divine masculine. And he, on an interview, disclosed one of his methods on how to speak to your soul. And it's simply this. You create a space, put some frequency beats on, some music on, just for a couple minutes. Sit there with your pen and write down, what does my soul want to tell me today? And then you can say, I choose to allow my soul to speak to me from the highest light. I choose to allow my soul to speak to me from the highest light. And just sit there with your pen and paper and see what happens. And if nothing comes out, just start writing and see what happens. And I've done it about 4 times now, and one of them was what I just read out. So yeah, pretty powerful, I reckon, pretty cool, and really easy way to start to get that soul connection or start to speak to your higher self if you haven't discovered any way, because the whole meditation thing's pretty hectic. It's really subtle. It's not everyone hears clear words and stuff. I certainly don't. Kind of do sometimes, but yeah, I just think it's a really cool method, and yeah, thought I'd share his stuff. All right, so breath work for a year, solo, at home style. First, I'm going to tell you a story about when I went to a breathwork class in Ubud, Bali, last year at this time. Bali, we miss you. Salamat pagi, salamat siang. Australia misses you, and we want to come back. But yeah, I went up to a spot in Ubud, and I did a full day there. I did a qigong class and some hatha yoga, and I finished with the breath work. And I did the breath work on an empty stomach, because I'd learned how important it is, or how powerful the body is or can be on an empty stomach when it comes to healing and functioning properly. And I learned all that stuff from Sadhguru. So yeah, I think that definitely played a part in what happened, what unfolded. All right, check it. We in the Western culture are notoriously and habitually shallow breathers, and thereby deprive ourselves of full, deep breaths. Make it a practice to take 10 comfortable deep breaths at least 3 times during the day. Take a few moments to breathe slowly and deeply. Hell yeah. This card comes from my Shaman Messages deck, and I could do a whole video on that bad boy. Yeah, so I went into this class. The teacher, the facilitator, beautiful soul that she was, just basically said this: we're going to be breathing in and out continuously for an hour, and just to breathe in and out of your mouth. There's no like sucking your guts in or doing this and that, like the Wim Hof method, which we're going to get into after. But yeah, it's just basically continuous breathing. And she said weird things can happen, like, you know, your hands, you get like, you know, all types of different sensations that can happen. Everyone's different, and you might also fall asleep or pass out because you're breathing all the time, and all types of stuff may happen. But the key was to just breathe in and out continuously. She had music playing, and she'd say a few words every now and then. And when I was doing it, my hands like clamped up like this, and I ended up like putting them, because I was lying down with my legs up, and then put my hands under my butt to straighten my hands out, because that's what was happening to my hands the whole time. And yeah, and at one point I fell asleep, and when I woke up, like when she woke me up, I woke up like this, and like I was like, what the and she was like, yep, it's all right, just keep breathing. And so I had no like time to compute that, and I just kept breathing. And then like at some point during the whole mission, there was some dude frothing up next to me. He was doing, all I could hear him, and he was going, oh, oh. It was really wild stuff. There was a girl next to me, and when I come to at the end of it, she was gone. So something might have even been too intense for her. So who knows what happened there. But later on in the session, no shit, I got connection to what you'd call what I reckon was like the love energy, the God source. This bad boy here, you see that eye? The eye of the creator known by many names as the allness that expresses through and is everything in the entire universe. That's what I saw. I saw the creator's eye, straight up. And I'd never seen that before. Like I said, I wasn't looking for that. And during those moments, like it felt maybe 5-10 minutes, for ages, I was like this, and my eyes closed, like, oh, and I was crying, tears were running down my face, and I was in the happiest love state ever. It was the most beautiful, powerful, loving, embracing feeling. And, you know, when it was all said and done, I was standing in the balcony afterwards, just contemplating what just happened. And I hit up the teacher and sort of said, like, what's the deal with how I freaked out when I woke up? And she said, maybe something, you know, that was regressed, that like, it's happened bad to you in this lifetime. And I was like, man, I've had near-death experiences, but I've never had something like that, full terror, you know? And she just said, well, maybe it was past life. And I've had a year to sit on it. And I reckon it was some sort of release from past life, perhaps. Definitely, there's no way that wasn't healing. You know what I'm saying? It's from breath. It's just from breathing in and out. No technicalities, you know? And the connection, I had to go back to her afterwards and just tell her it was the most powerful spiritual moment in my life. And I just met my spirit guide through my Reiki healing, and I'd had some pretty crazy sexual kundalini sort of stuff as well, and this trumps that big time. And there's been some pretty tripped out stuff that's happened since, and we'll get into that in other episodes. So who's sold on doing breathwork for the rest of their life? F yeah. And I keep having these mad experiences with it. I did a full moon ceremony on the 28th, the first full moon of the year, in Aquarius. It was meant to be a shamanic setup, and I'm going to do some videos on that sort of stuff at a later date, and we'll get into not only that type of ceremony, but stuff for shadow work as well, and using planetary alignments. Oh, oh. Breathwork in Qigong, breathwork in yoga practices, way to breathe, no breath. The Wim Hof method, the accordion breath, continuous breathing, abdominal breathing, pushing the guts out. With the Wim Hof method, definitely scientific studies on him have shown that it accesses the central nervous system, the endocrine system. At the top is the medulla oblongata. I just wanted to say that word, the reptilian brain, the hypothalamus, the pineal gland, and the pituitary gland all get activated, which sends adrenaline at high levels throughout the body, oxidizing and alkalizing the body. Yeah, self-healing us and killing bacteria. So why aren't we hearing about this in the mainstream media at a time of a supposed deadly pandemic? Or why weren't we hearing about this beforehand? Because mainstream media is not our friend. Mainstream media keeps us in a state of fear and other low vibration emotions, which actually makes us easier to control and actually compromises the immune system. Hey! Yeah. Check out interviews with the Hoff. Not that Hoff, this Hoff. And when he's being interviewed, he's been asked, why aren't we hearing about this in the mainstream? And he's said, because despite the scientific stuff that's been done on him and has proven all of this stuff to be completely beneficial for us, let alone it being ancient knowledge, thousands of years old. So it compromises our dependence on the medical system and Big Pharma. So that's why we're not seeing it. Much like we're not getting to see the presentations by doctors being censored on all fronts about the use of hydroxychloroquine and other existing drugs that have been used for decades to treat respiratory problems. I had another example that I was going to share, but that video is being deleted by a doctor pleading for us to start using these particular drugs. No surprises there. Instead, promoting a jab, letting us be the guinea pigs, and spending our tax dollars on something that is already killing people, and reports are coming out that it is going to compromise our DNA. Take that how you will. Plenty of stuff out there to look into if you're not aware of that yet. So, doing the Wim Hof breathing technique for a year, predominantly first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Yeah, I've had no sickness at all. I've had maybe a scratchy throat, maybe a blocked nose for a day or two, no flu. Wait a minute, what happened to the flu? Yeah, that's right. It's all now being counted as COVID. But I might as well get a test to make sure. Hey? Okay, well, maybe then I'll get an anal swab to check for a respiratory infection. Or maybe I'll wear a double mask or triple mask to restrict my breathing. Anyway, we won't go on about that anymore. I just wanted to have a bit of a laugh with you and point out the inconsistencies that we're all seeing and someone needs to speak up about. If you're not, I will. So yeah, for me, my fat percentage is on point. My diaphragm is like on point, and I don't project any type of fear of getting sick, and I don't project any type of fear about my future health, and I don't project fear about that degenerating into my older years. The obvious one, the major obvious thing, is the activation that you feel from your third eye and crown chakra after doing this. Like you feel it, you know, and that's a good thing. But why do you think I'm always talking about getting grounded? One, it's healing. Two, when you open out these parts of you, of your energy centers, you need to get grounded, otherwise you're living up in the air all the time. I've shared another video explaining the science of it by Dr. Joe Dispenza on my Unfxck My World Facebook page, which I dropped a year ago this month. And that video is from a dude named Casper on his channel Attract Passion. He's a creative awakened soul and I love his stuff. Yeah, from my heart to your heart, I hope this helps you, and if you think this would help someone else, then please share it. That is a wrap. My name's Michael Doviak, and thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Peace, much love and light. Stay tuned for more madness. We are not insignificant. We are not limited. We do not need to look externally for love, validation and direction. Time is not lineal. Our brains do not only work at 10% capacity. 95% of our DNA is not junk DNA. And staying silent because you believe you have no power is not true. One love. Shout out to the birds in this video. Namaste.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. me.